Hey, my name is Brent.
And I'm Nicole.
Welcome to Cloudy with the Chance Meeples, and welcome to a review of
Marbleous.
Marbleous. This is a game all about marbles, and you will be getting these little trays and rolling marbles. You hear that? You'll be rolling marbles down these trays, trying to group together colors, making them pop to score the most points. So let me show you how you play this in the radar overview. My final forecast. Nicole's final forecast coming up shortly. Cue the thunder. So the radar overview for Marbleous. Unleash a chain reaction looks something like this. In this game, each player gets one of these marble boards, as well as a white marble. Put it in the middle. You'll take one random token here, which represents one of the color of marbles. And then you are ready to begin. On a player's turn, they will take one of these 3 face-up cards and they will roll them into their little device here. And I'm just going to show you how we do this. So if I take this one, I would take 2 yellow and 1 blue. And I could put it like this in these 3 columns. I could put it vertically, this way, or this way. So one of 4 different ways. And I'm going to do that. And then it'll be the next player's turn. This will get refilled. Let's say it comes back around to my turn, and it's still my turn, so I'm going to, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to take this one. That's a purple, and 2 yellows. I think I want this one. I think I do. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. At that point, after you've played one of these cards, you can use any one of these. So let's say I would cash that in. I would take a purple and I put it into my board. At that point, I look. Have I made any connections of 3 or more of any one color? Remembering that white is wild. Well, in fact, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 yellows. So then those would pop out. I would go 4 yellow. 5 points at the end of the game. Flip that over. And then my reward is one of these tokens, which is a blue. These would slide down, much like the marbles slide down, and this would get replaced. Let me just take a couple other turns and kind of show you, hopefully, how you can get some of these combos in Marbleous. So let's say I take this one. I take these colors and that one. And I'm going to spend this token to get a blue one to put it there. And then this gets flipped over. And what am I going to take? What am I going to take? Well, I'm going to take, yeah, I'll take this one. That's a purple. I will do purple, yellow, and red. I should say you can only ever have 5 of one. Each of them can only have 5 marbles in them. At that point, I look. Oh, 1, 2, 3. 3 yellows. They pop. And put those back. 3 yellow, 3 points. And then, now, these 3 blue pop. Put those back. 3 blue. And I got those points. These all slide down. Let's see if I can do one more combo here. Because as soon as all these blue cards are gone, then we'll start flipping these yellowy orange colored cards. And we'll see what they do. What can I do? I can, well, let's just take, I'm going to try to get a combo here. Don't know if I will. Let's do this. Let's go blue, red, and purple. Discard that. Comes back around to me. Purple, purple, blue. Let's do this one. Blue, purple, and red. And I can pop them in any which order I want. So I could do these 3 purple, or instead I could do these red for 4 points. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 purple, or these, 4 purple, sorry, for 4 points, as well as one of these. Again, you can only use one of these per turn. These slide down, and then these get flipped. And these ones are all worth 5, 6, and 7 points. You keep doing this until all these cards are gone. And then you add up your scores with each of these, every 3 of these being 1 point. Whoever has the most points is the winner. I will say that there's also an advanced variant where if you pop 2 or more different colors in the same turn, much like I did, you gain one of these purple or one of these pink stars, and depending on how many of these you have at the end of the game, gives you X amount of points as well. But that in a nutshell is how you play Marbleous. Let's move on over now and take a look at the final forecast. So the final forecast for Marbleous, a game all about marbles, and a game that looks like it was designed, the logo was designed in the 80s.
Yeah. I would say the artwork is a little weak.
The artwork on this is a little bit like, okay, like the box cover, it seriously looks like something from the 80s. And maybe that's what the vibe that they were going for.
Maybe.
But the name of the game is Marbleous. The name is kind of weak, but let's talk about the gameplay. Like I showed in the radar overview, I made a mistake. 3 yellow should have popped with the wild, but you get these marble tracks. You get a bunch of these marbles. You're rolling them down. Very simple. It's like Ticket to Ride simple in the sense of you're drafting one of 3 cards. You're putting them in your little tray and see what happens.
Yep.
I'm a fan of marbles. You?
Sure.
You like marbles?
Everyone likes marbles.
I don't know. There's just something.
These are also wooden marbles.
Yes. And I'm colorblind. The purple and the blue
They're not. They're fine.
To me, on the cards,
unless you're colorblind.
To me, on the cards, the purple and the blue look very similar, but the marbles are wooden. The quality of the marbles are good. Mm-hmm. Quality of these are good.
Yeah.
Thicker plastic. This reminded me of a little bit Potion Explosion. Not mechanically, but I guess maybe just the whole marbles. And I think people who know Potion Explosion will see this and they'll wonder, is it the same?
No, not at all.
It's not really the same. In Potion Explosion, you're taking like a single marble or maybe 2 and causing these effects. In this one, you are building those combos. You're building those cascading 3 colors, 4 colors, 5 colors, hitting each other, popping.
It's also a much lighter
to
game.
Game points. Yes, it plays 30 minutes, 1 to 4, and I think 30 minutes is pretty accurate.
That's pretty generous.
You think it's less?
I don't know. I think it is less.
It might be.
Maybe it depends.
It might be less.
Like who you're playing with.
I think like in a 2-player game, you get 15 turns or 14 turns or something. In a 4-player game, you get
be really quick.
10.
Though.
But yeah, turns are
can
quick.
Be extremely quick, depending.
What did you think of kind of the flow of the game in the sense of the puzzle? Because there is a little bit of a puzzle in this.
It's a little tricky.
It's not as much of a puzzle like, say, like Sagrada, where you're matching, you know, this has to go here and this has to go there. So it's not like that, but it's more of like a, if I put this here, on the next turn, if I do this and that, then this will happen, which will then make this happen, which will make this happen.
Yep.
What did you think of that whole puzzle?
Yeah, it's...
Did you find it easy?
It gives it a little bit of, like, crunchiness. Like, otherwise...
A lowercase c on crunchiness.
For sure.
Because this is not very crunchy.
But, like, you do have to think a little bit ahead, and you do have to kind of, like, be able to see, okay, if I put this marble here and that marble here, what will happen when, like, it's,
Mm-hmm.
It can be a little bit tricky. I find it to be a little bit like, okay, I kind of almost want to put the marbles in to see how it looks. Like, you're not allowed to do that, but anyway.
Yeah. But, you know, like, I can see both sides. I can see...
Certain people,
you don't necessarily see that.
Yeah, certain people see things like that better.
Transpire until it actually happens. But for me, it was a little bit easier to be like, hey, if I put this yellow and the red in this column, then if I put a red over here, that'll pop the red, then the yellows will pop. And like you can see things, I can see things like that. So for people who can kind of see that, I think they'll really enjoy this.
Yep.
You're really rewarded with that in the advanced variant, which I didn't speak on as much, but advanced variant, anytime you pop 2 or more colors, you get a little pink star, more stars, more extra points at the end of the game. The wilds, the white ones, these kind of bug me a little bit because yes, you start with them, so it kind of gives you a little bit to work with because they are all the colors. But you have to be careful because you're like, oh, I'll just put 2 red beside it and then set myself up for the blue combo after. But as soon as you have two different, two of the same,
think of it as a color. Like you just have to remember. Like I think you want to act like it's not there, but it definitely is.
Yeah, and again, they help you.
They help you, or they can harm you, right?
Not harm, but they can make you pop a color before you want it to.
Yeah, maybe you don't want to pop yet. Maybe you want to wait.
Yeah, because sometimes
if the white one's there, then too bad.
Right. And interesting way that the scoring is. I like the cards. They kind of roll down.
Yeah, and you don't
much
really
like
know
the game
what things are worth until that turn.
Right, because sometimes it's like, 3 red is worth 5, 4 red is worth 4, and 5 red is worth 3. Well, then I don't want to pop 5 red for only 3 points. Yes, I get 2 of those little tokens, but which may help me, but may not help me. So I like that whole cascading thing. And I feel also you have not an advantage, but almost going last is almost better because all those purple or all those blue ones, the lower value points are gone. Then the orange value points start at the top and they work their way down. So later in the game, you could get the higher point value. You get 7 points for popping 3 of a color,
right?
Versus 7 points for popping 5 of the same color. So you might as well wait for other people to pop that color to make those points drop, right? And so I don't know. Going last, I think, is maybe even a benefit. But what would you? Let's wrap this up. What would you give Marbleous?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 70% chance of meeples, 7 out of 10. I think it's okay. It's pretty good. It's not amazing. It's not my new favorite game. But it's a fun little light game that you can play really quickly. And we always need more of those.
Yeah.
It's a filler game.
It is a filler game. Or like a weeknight game where you only have half hour, 40 minutes to play a game, and setup is pretty quick. I'm a little bit higher on a 75% chance of meeples because I like those combos and trying to fill up my board to try to make those combos. And the last game we played, I popped 4 different colors all in the same turn. I popped all the 4 colors.
You really like these tactile games.
Yes,
you do.
I do. And so I enjoyed this one. The fiddliness of it, I thought would actually be high, much like Potion Explosion.
It's not really.
But it's not. The marbles sit in these trays quite well. You don't have kind of extra marbles that you're holding onto. You're drafting 2 or 3 marbles and putting them in. That's it.
And the size of these, I think, is a little bit bigger than a marble.
I don't
Maybe?
know.
It seems like it. But anyway, when you're taking the colors out that you've popped, it's not it doesn't ruin the rest of your marbles that are in your tray. Yeah. It's actually fine.
Yeah. And so I enjoyed a 75% chance of meeples. A neat little game that doesn't take up much table space, doesn't take up much room on the game shelf because the box is actually a good size of a box. You can barely get everything back in. The biggest puzzle is kind of in the game is putting it back in the box so that it fits nicely. But I enjoyed it. 75% chance of meeples. Neat little game. So check out Marbleous. My name is Brent.
And I'm Nicole.
Till next time, grab your umbrella. The forecast is cloudy with a chance of meeples.